I need you to stop everything right now. Put down whatever you are doing, because what I am about to tell you happened on an ordinary Saturday morning, in a driveway, in front of a house I had lived in for 8 years, while my husband was inside making breakfast. And the coffee was brewing and everything. Absolutely everything looked completely normal. It was not normal. My name is Elena. And on that Saturday morning, I found something in the pocket of my husband's car door that changed every single thing I thought I knew about my marriage. A phone. Not his phone. His phone was on the kitchen counter. I had seen it there 10 minutes earlier when I went inside to get my jacket. A different phone. Small. Cheap. The kind that costs $40 and has no case and no identifying features and is designed, in every possible way, to be invisible. I picked it up. My hands were not shaking yet. That came later. In that first moment, I was simply still. The particular stillness of someone whose mind has understood something that the rest of them hasn't caught up to yet. I pressed the home button. No passcode. I don't know why there was no passcode. Maybe he had forgotten to set one. Maybe he felt safe enough that he hadn't bothered. Maybe. And this is the thought that has stayed with me longest. He had simply never imagined that I would be the one to find it. The screen lit up. One app, messages, one conversation. I opened it. And I read the last text. If your heart is already racing, and stay with me, subscribe to this channel right now. Because what that text said, and what I did in the 4 weeks that followed, is something I have never told anyone the complete version of, until today. The last text had been sent the previous night, at 11:52 p.m., while I was asleep. 4 words. I can't do this. That was it. 4 words. No context, no name. No response visible. The conversation showed only his side, which meant the other phone, wherever it was, had the replies. I stood in that driveway for a long time. 4 words can mean many things. I knew that. I can't do this could mean almost anything. Guilt, confusion, a decision being made, a line being drawn. But the phone itself, the existence of the phone, the $40 invisible phone with one conversation and no passcode, told its own story before a single word was read. I scrolled up. The conversation went back 4 months. I will not share what I read, not because it wasn't significant, it was, but because some things once spoken out loud belong to the person they happen to, in a way that sharing them diminishes. What I will tell you is that by the time I had read enough, standing in a driveway on a Saturday morning while my husband made breakfast inside, I knew everything I needed to know. The shape of it, the duration of it, the particular way it had been conducted alongside our marriage, carefully, in the spaces between things, in the $40 phone with one conversation. I put the phone back exactly where I found it. I went inside. My husband was at the stove. He turned when he heard me come in and smiled, the easy, comfortable smile of a man who believes his Saturday morning is proceeding normally. "Coffee's ready," he said. "Thank you," I said. I sat at the kitchen table. I drank my coffee. I asked about his plans for the day. I listened to his answers. I was, from the outside, completely normal. Inside, I was building something, not out of rage, out of the particular cold clarity that arrives when the worst thing you suspected turns out to be true, and there is suddenly nothing left to be afraid of knowing. I gave myself 4 weeks. 4 weeks to speak to a lawyer, to understand my financial position completely, to open accounts, to document, to prepare in every practical sense for what came next. Then I told no one. I changed nothing on the surface. I made his coffee and asked about his day, and moved through our shared life with a steadiness that I am still, honestly, not entirely sure how I maintained. But I maintained it, because I had learned something, standing in that driveway with a $40 phone in my hand, that I will carry for the rest of my life. The moment you know the truth completely is also the moment you have all the power, and power used carefully is worth more than any reaction. 4 weeks to the day after that Saturday morning, I sat across from my husband at the kitchen table. Between us and a folder, inside it, everything my lawyer had helped me prepare, everything I was entitled to, everything that had been quietly, carefully arranged over 4 weeks, while he had continued to believe his Saturday mornings were normal, also on the table, the $40 phone. Placed there by me, face up, screen showing the conversation. He saw it immediately. I watched his face, the sequence of it, recognition, calculation, the particular expression of someone rapidly reassessing a situation they thought they controlled. Elena, I found it 4 weeks ago, I said. I have spent those 4 weeks preparing. Everything I am entitled to is in this folder. My lawyer's number is on the top page. I would like you to call yours. He looked at the folder. At the phone, at me. You've known for 4 weeks, he said. Not a question. Something between disbelief and, I think, a complicated kind of respect. I wanted to be ready, I said. I did not want to have this conversation from a place of shock. I wanted to have it from a place of preparation. He was quiet for a long time. The text, he said finally. The last one. I can't do this. I meant I couldn't keep doing it. I was going to end it. I looked at him. I believe you, I said, and it doesn't change anything. Because the phone existed for 4 months before that text, and you chose, every single day of those 4 months, not to tell me. He had no answer for that. The divorce was filed the following week. It proceeded with the particular efficiency of something that has been thoroughly prepared for. My husband did not contest the settlement, I think. When someone has read that folder and understood the completeness of what was inside it, contesting feels less like a strategy and more like an insult. I moved into my own apartment 3 months later. Clean, bright, entirely mine. The $40 phone? I left it on the kitchen counter when I moved out. Not as a statement, simply because it had no place in the life I was building. I am doing well, better than well on the good days. I have rebuilt, carefully, honestly, with appropriate time given to what rebuilding actually requires. I have friends who know the complete story. I have a therapist who has helped me understand that what happened was not a reflection of my worth or my watchfulness or anything I did or didn't do. It was a choice he made, repeatedly, over 4 months. And the choice I made, standing in that driveway with a phone in my hand, to be prepared rather than reactive, to know completely before acting, to build something solid before dismantling, something broken, and that choice is one I will never regret. Here is what a $40 phone and a Saturday morning taught me. The truth is rarely comfortable, but it is always, always better than the version of your life that has been built around a lie, and when you find it, however it arrives, however it feels in the first moment, you have a choice. React from shock or prepare from strength. I found a second phone in my husband's car. The last text stopped my heart. And then, very quietly, very deliberately, and I started it again. If this story reached you, if it opened something, please share it right now with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe to this channel. Every week I bring you stories about the moments that change everything. And what happens after. You deserve to hear them. I am always listening.